First of all, thank you for having me on this program. Hopefully the numbers are beginning to swell. How many are watching us right now?
309.
That's what I like to see. Now, I'm just joking. I'm not going to wear these glasses. These would make me look absolutely fucking ridiculous, and I want to be serious.
Thank you for becoming a member, Danny.
Real quick, you brought up a lady down south. That lady, and her information was out there. She came on our show. I'm not going to give her name.
Right.
But she was on my program. She did call me a boatload of times. Let me give you a little background to that story, because that story is actually extremely important. Now, I'm on the fence about this, okay? And let me explain, because when I started going on Doug's show about 4 years ago, right? I'm not new to that guy. And then his show kind of died, and he did his own thing. But I went on there about cases like Nikalina and Jed Hall. He would cover cases that I was actively working on as a private investigator. Long story short, I went on Icamel, Zav Girl. I was going on about 10 or 15 of these shows, but never had my own YouTube channel. Long story short, I kind of disappeared from him for a while. The Dylan Rounds case came up, and he cold called me. He called me with his co-host, who I affectionately called Crime and Toothless. That is his co-host that doesn't have a grill. And she was actually pretty nice to me at the beginning. She was kind of like his gopher. Now, nobody ever asked for a picture of her boobies, but I can tell you that I did, and I won't be releasing those to anybody.
Please don't.
There's actually just one, and it's real big, and it's right in the middle. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is Doug. So I would go on his show. He was down to about 125, 130 viewers. This is right after he got struck down from showing all the booby pictures and doing all that illegal, goofy stuff. So he gets a hold of me. He says, I want to bring you on the show. His numbers skyrocket. It's all out there. Watch it. We did some really good stuff together. I had no idea how much money he was making. I would get some super stickers and super chats for him that were massive, but I didn't realize. I thought he got those things all the time. What do I give a shit? Right. So long story short.
You're not a pocket watcher, Jim.
A what?
You're not a pocket watcher unless you have to watch the pocket. So you were able to see how much money he was making with you on his show, and then you left the show and he tanked.
Well, he didn't. I didn't leave the show. I started my own show, but wanted to do both, and he couldn't handle it. I'll get to that, and I won't keep you long on this, but it's important that people understand what's going on here, because this validates these women who, when I first heard these, so I went on Doug's show, and his numbers started skyrocketing. Within a week, I got a call from a lady in like Michigan, a lady in Mississippi, a lady in Georgia, a lady in New York, and they all had the same stories. Please don't go on a show. You're breathing life back into his program. And I said, what do you give a shit? He showed pictures of our boobies. Now, listen, I got a lengthy career in arena football. That's what my real career is. It's what I've always done. I play a sport called arena football, locker rooms, college football. Listen, girls, I'm going to tell you what I told my sister, okay? And I know this is going to sound great. Nikalina, I'd like to hear your reply to this. Assume that if you send pictures of your boobs to somebody or any other private part, eventually they're going to get shown to somebody. If you never send them to anybody, especially a dirtbag like Doug Hutton, who is living in a van doing a YouTube channel in Southern California, you got to imagine that sooner or later, those are going to make their rounds, okay? So I don't want to blame those women, but you got to use better judgment. You know, you can't do that and roll the dice with a guy like that, or any guy. You know what I mean? And not expect it. So it's like giving somebody money. You don't let somebody borrow money, you give it to them, because you got to assume you're never going to get it back. So these women started calling me, and I was blowing them off. Hey, listen, honey, you know, you sent pictures of your cans. I hope they were worth it. Like, why'd you do that? What I didn't realize is how many of these women, it went beyond that. So let's say you sent a picture of your boobies to a guy, and he showed them. Okay, that's embarrassing, whatever. If you got a nice rack, I know some girls don't give a shit, right? The problem was he was using them to extort these women. Let me give you an example. One of these women had a child, and I'm not going to give her name. You may know who this is. Maybe she's even been on your show, and she called me in tears. She said, let me tell you, it goes beyond. I said, you should have shown your boobies. She goes, it goes beyond that. Not only did he attempt to do that, but I have a restraining order against a guy who was choking my infant child. I went into the nursery, and my baby's father was choking an infant. And I got him off of him. He got arrested. He did 3 years in jail, in prison. He got off on a technicality. And I have a special restraining order where my mailbox is not even registered to my name. And I decided, because the only thing I could really do was go on these.
Yes, I know who that is.
Okay, so here's the story. So just to tell you, this is more than just he showed his boobies. No. So what Doug did is he says, if you don't send me the, so I question these women. What are you, a dumbass? You're a stupid broad. Send a picture of your fucking tits. What's wrong with you? Bros before hoes, you know, locker room stuff. I'm telling these broads, you shouldn't have done that. Well, then they got different stories. So the chick in Mississippi, and this is real interesting. Here's where it gets good. Here's where the women kind of get their revenge. She starts saying, well, you know what? I sent him a picture of my boobs. I says, why would a lady in her 50s who's married risk this, being married 30 years?
Hold on just a second. Quit timing out C-org. Stop it. We are adults. Do not block him. I've just unblocked him. Please stop. We have a guest on panel, and his subs are here as well. So let's not time out or block unless it's a serious issue.
Yeah, and Sea-Org, pipe down. All right, Sea-Org is a little bit of a whack job. He's in Australia. He's never been around this many hot chicks. He's a little excited. Okay, so you got to kind of, he gets all his money to the Church of Scientology. That's a real thing. That's what Sea-Org is. Anyways, long story short, she says, well, Doug sent me a picture of his wiener, so I sent him a picture of my boobies. I said, whoa.
Oh, man.
You've got a picture of Doug's wiener. She says, yes. She said, my husband actually found it. And the reason we stayed together is because it was so small. And I lost my shit. And I says, okay, here's another chick who's screwed over by a guy, says he has a small wiener, right? That's the go. She's a whore. He's got a small dick. It's over. She starts describing it as being thin, weak, not working well, never fully hard. And anyway, basically she described it like a chapstick or a pocket knife. Oh. And I started laughing my ass.
Oh, no.
A chapstick, hard, okay?
Chapstick size?
Chapstick, hard. Basically, when it was...
Micropene.
Hold on, I'm getting a call. Oh, it's actually Doug. It's actually, you want me to take this?
Yeah.
How are you, Doug?
in the way of doing my show.
I'm sorry?
Totally. And I wanted to apologize to you also for bringing your family into this, and it was the wrong thing to do, Jim. I'm sorry. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to sit here and laugh at the stupid shit you're saying, because this is like the 5th fucking time you guys tried this dumb shit.
What? We interviewed your in-laws. I spoke with your in-laws. Your in-laws, the Coldwell Bankers, they interviewed with me today. I'm going to play their interview. Are you going to listen?
You should.
Doug, you lost custody of your children? You don't have custody of your children?
I just had them at baseball.
Yes, because she allows it, not because you have custody. It's her discretion. You owe $100,000 in child support. No, you don't. Doug, no, you don't. No, Doug, you don't have custody. You don't have custody. You don't have custody, Doug. Doug, you don't have custody. We will listen to your in-laws, Doug. We will listen to your in-laws, Doug. So you don't have to believe me. See, that's the great part. This isn't going to be Jim Terry telling you about Doug. I'm going to give you my anecdotes, but you're going to hear his family talk about him. So anyway, so this woman in Mississippi starts talking about how small this prick is, and I'm laughing my ass off. So I kind of put it in the back burner. About half a dozen other women contacted me as well, okay? And I just said, look, by the way, thank you for the cash apps, James Terry P. I appreciate it. That's
And
Tennessee.
also, thank you for the super chat you guys are sending. I don't want to interrupt JT by saying thank you, but I've noticed and they're greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
You can interrupt me, Sam, because we're going to get all this out. So, and Doug's triggered right now because he probably has already heard. And I know he was with his ex-wife today at a baseball game, which, by the way, the youth league told him he had to watch the games from the outfield in the parking lot because of the antics he was pulling at the youth games.
Oh
Doug has no custody of his 2 boys whatsoever. She has full custody, but will allow him in supervised areas, a restaurant. They're not allowed to go back to his house. They're not allowed to spend the night. In the last couple of months, you'll hear the father say she started allowing, because the kids are in their mid-teens. So we'll get to that. So then Nikalina calls my show. Now, like Nikalina, like most women on YouTube, has had the hots for me. Danielle. Nikalina, you as well. Danielle calls the show. Now, some of you know, did your program know who she is?
Yes, Danielle she used to be in my chat all the time. She met a pretty neat guy, and she's been, she's in a new relationship. She pops in and says hello, and I pop into hers. She was up on my panel when we were exposing Doug with his revenge porn.
So she gives me a call, and here we go. Now, for those of you that don't know what Danielle looks like, I think she looks like a porn star version of Jenny Garth from 90210. But she's like super sweet, real West Coast. What's that?
She's gorgeous.
Well, she's okay. So, anyways, can't give her too much credit.
Don't be rude.
I like her, but the eyebrow thing fucks it up.
Okay, go on.
The guy's real good looking, but he's got bad teeth, and you're like, oh man, the eyebrows. We've tried to get her to grow them back, and she will not do it. But that's okay. She's cool people. She's real West Coast. She works real hard. She's got a kid, single mom. She calls my show and starts telling me that she dated him. And I thought, well, wait, you actually dated him. You met him. She goes, oh, yeah. She says, we had sex 10 times. She'll tell you the story. She goes, but only one time did his penis work. And that was the time that he showed me hermaphrodite porn. And I says, wait, what is, and even a sick fuck like me had to look up what that was. Nikalina, do you know what that is?
I do not.
Hermaphrodite porn is a human being that has both a penis and a vagina. Some people are born this way. And they have both sex organs, a penis and a vagina. Usually it's like a little stubby penis growing out of a vagina. It's a real thing. It's called a hermaphrodite. And there's pornography on this kind of stuff. And I'm almost laughing now because I was like, I've seen some sick amputee shit, midgets, whatever. This takes the fucking cake. Now I know Doug, and I know his personality, so now I start laughing. I'm like, okay, this is a new one even on me.
She was in here, Kai Crimes. She's in here. She's listening. She bought a membership tonight. She said,
yes, I told her. She actually promoted that this was going to be on. We asked if it was okay to tell her story. She'll tell you the same fucking story. She meets him at a casino and mods for him, and meets him at a casino. They have sex the first night, but his penis won't work. So she actually tried to have sex with him 10 times. The only time they were able to have any sort of intercourse was when he pulled up hermaphrodite porn on his cell phone and acted like it was a joke.
No.
Other than that, it never worked. And I wouldn't have believed her. I would have said, this is a chick that just wants to burn him on my show, except she described his penis the exact same way that the lady in Mississippi did. The exact same penis, the same lumps, and she said it was like a Vienna sausage. Well, I don't know if you've seen a Vienna sausage, which I will never eat again. And I used to like those, the barbecue kind. But she actually showed us a Vienna sausage, and it's a little thicker than a lipstick or a chapstick. So she fucking nailed it. So it's like all those kids that said Michael Jackson did stuff to him, and they could describe his genitalia. Well, you can't make that up. How else would she know? So then she starts showing, well, he called CPS on her because she left them on. So now I'm like, wait a minute. These girls are not making this shit up.
Nope.
Like 90% of these girls have the exact same story to some degree. Now, Danielle didn't care if he, had pictures of her boobs. I don't know that he ever had them of hers. I don't know that. She could fill you in. So now there's stories on this. Doug's channel. So I decide, Doug goes, I'm going to open up a channel and put you under it, under my label, No Thanks 2.0. It's out there. I wouldn't do it. I was like, no way am I getting involved in money. A very elderly woman that loves my show. Why, I don't know. She's an old granny. Her name's Sheila Demeraux, and she's in Texas. Calls me, and she says, Jim, you thank everybody that sends you a Cash App or a PayPal. I didn't get that many. She goes, but you never thanked me or my dog. Now, I would take this money that I was getting from these people, and I would buy bags of dogs and cat foods, and bring like those 50-pound bags at Sam's Club and bring them to shelters. And I would thank the people for doing it and show pictures of me doing that. Well, she says, you never thanked me. And I said, what do you mean? She says, oh, I sent you close to $150 over last week. I said, where? She goes, to Doug's channel. I said, Doug never mentioned that to me. She says, oh, I've been PayPaling and Cash Apping him money. This is for Jim Terry and these animals. So I called Doug. He won't talk about it. Just fuck her. She's some old bag. I don't know what you're talking about. So I have her call the show with me and Doug on it. And Doug tells her, yeah, she did send you money, Jim. She sent you money, and I'm going to take the 30% out and the taxes out, and I'll give it to you next month when it comes in. And I'm like, Doug, what? It's $150, whatever. And I felt terrible for this woman. I said, that's it. I'm done. So I started going on Tyler Feller's show a lot more. And Tyler was a little bit more polished with cases and stuff. And he had fact checkers. He has a staff. Whether you like him or you don't, he got better numbers. That pissed Doug off. And I said, Doug, I'm going to do my own show. I've got too many people asking me to do it. I've got a company that wants to back me. I said, I think I'm going to do this. But it's not going to be true crime. It's going to be bullshit. I'm not going to cover true crime unless I'm involved in the case. I'm not covering Kylie Rodney. I'm not covering the Idaho 4. I'm not covering John Bonet or O.J. Simpson. It's just going to be bullshit. We shake people's hands. We do all kinds of weird stuff over there. So he goes, okay. He says, all right, let's just not go up against each other. I said, Doug, I'm going to do it one day a week, Tuesday nights. The very first show, I had 2,700 people watching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2,700. And the second Tuesday, he went up against me and says, oh, I forgot. And I said, well, now it's war. I said, Doug, you knew. You knew I was going on Tuesday. And so that was the beginning of the end. And then Candace Cooley told him, and she has many other people, Dylan Rounds' mother. And there she is. That's Danielle right there. That's her, Jenny Garth.
Yes, she's been in there.
She says, see, this is the thing. None of these chicks are bad looking. None of the girls that sent their boobies and stuff to Doug, I mean, he was getting good looking chicks. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. But I mean, there must be some draw there. I mean, no, Danielle ain't sending me any pictures of anything. So,
Last time.
what's that?